Okay, students, so we got to know what is an AP, and we also learned a new formula, that is nth term an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. Now let's start with the exercise. Okay, the first exercise and the first problem, the taxi fare after each kilometer. Okay, basically we have to find whether the given situation is a AP or not. Okay, they've given a situation for us, we have to find whether it is an AP or not. Okay, that's what we are trying to do. So this is the situation. The taxi fare after each kilometer, when the fare is rupees 15 for the first kilometer and rupees 8 for each additional kilometer. So it's very simple. For the first kilometer, it is 15 rupees. Say suppose I start now. Okay, I go by a taxi. After 1 kilometer, I have to pay 15 rupees. Okay. Now after 2 kilometers, how much should I pay? For first kilometer, it is 15 rupees. For the next 1 kilometer, it is 8 rupees. So 15 plus 8. So it is 23. So let's note it down. We have to check whether this situation, that is the taxi fare, whether it is an AP or not. Okay. The taxi fare after 1 kilometer, that will be equal to how much? After 1 kilometer, we have to pay rupees 15. Okay, we are paying 15 rupees. Okay. The taxi fare after 2 kilometers. After 2 kilometers, for the first kilometer, we will pay 15. Then again 8 rupees for the next 1 kilometer. So it will be 15 plus 8. So it will be 23 rupees 23. Similarly, the taxi fare after 3 kilometer. For the first kilometer, it is 15 rupees. For the next kilometer, 8 rupees. Again 8 rupees. So 15 plus 8 plus 8. That will give you 31 rupees 31. That is if you travel 3 kilometers. Say suppose you are going by this taxi for 3 kilometers. How much will you pay? 31 rupees. Okay. Say suppose taxi fare after 4 kilometers. You will be paying 39 rupees. Isn't it? So let's check these amount whether they are AP or not. 15, 23, 31, 39 and so on. Very clearly this is an AP. Why? Because there is a common difference. 23 minus 15 is 8. 31 minus 23 is also 8. 39 minus 31 is also 8. If you keep doing this, you will get a common difference. Therefore, this situation that is given is an AP. Okay. So let's go to the next problem. Okay, students, let's go to the next problem. So the amount of air present in a cylinder when a vacuum pump removes 1/4 of the air remaining in the cylinder. Very important. It removes 1/4 of the air remaining in the cylinder at a time. Now, this is the condition. There is a cylinder, it has got some air in it, and every time we are removing 1/4 of the air. Now, the volume present in the cylinder each time, does it form an AP? That's what we have to check. Okay. I've taken a table here. I formed a table to understand better. This is volume of air in the cylinder that is present in the cylinder. We are going to remove some air, some amount of air. After removing, what is the air present in it? Very simple. What is the air in the cylinder? How much we are removing it? And what is the air left out after removing? Initially, let's say V is the volume of air present in the cylinder. V is the volume of air present in the cylinder. We have got so much. Okay. How much we are going to remove? We are going to remove 1/4 of the air present in the cylinder. What is the 1/4 of air present in the cylinder? This is the air that is present now. I am going to remove 1/4 of this. So 1/4 V. Okay. Now what will be the remaining? We have to just subtract it. So V minus 1/4 V. Simply 1/4 V can be written as V by 4 itself. So if you take LCM and solve it, you will be getting 3V by 4. This is the volume of air remaining in the cylinder. That is nothing but 3V by 4. That is the air in the cylinder now. right? Initially you add this, you removed so much, this is the remaining. This remaining part is in the cylinder now, isn't it? It's very easy. You got a cylinder, you add so much, V was the volume, you removed V by 4, now you have got 3V by 4. You have got so much, okay? In the second case, what is the volume of air in the cylinder? That is nothing but volume of air remaining. This is what it is there, right? Okay. Now, again what we are doing? We are removing the air. How much? 1/4 of the air present. 1/4 of the air present. The air present now is 3V by 4. I hope it's clear. Let me say it again. Initially we had so much. We removed 1/4 of it. So subtracted, you had so much. Okay. This is the air that is in the cylinder. So I'm just rewriting here. That's it. Now what are we doing? We are removing 1/4 of the air that is present. What is the air that is present? So much. So 1/4 of this. Earlier it was V. So 1/4 of V. Now it is 1/4 of this. Subtract these two things to find the remaining. So 3V by 4 minus, if you simplify this, it will become 3V by 8. Sorry, 3V by 16. 1 into 3V, 3V, 4 into 4, 16. So if you take LCM, it will become, so between 4 and 16, what is the LCM? I mean, the LCM of 4 and 16 is 16. So you have to multiply by 4 for both numerator and denominator. So 4 3s are 12, 12V by 16 minus 3V by 16. So it gives you 9V by 16. Okay. So 9V by 16. Okay. Now, this is the air that is present in the cylinder. 9V by 16. Again, what we are doing? We are removing 1/4 of the air that is present. The air that is present is 9V by 16. Okay. Subtract it. Let's subtract it to find the remaining. We had so much, we have removed so much. So 9V by 16 minus 9V by 16 fours are 64. Okay. Let's take the LCM. If you take LCM, it's gonna be 36V by 64. Between 16 and 64, 64 is the LCM. So I'm just taking LCM by 64. So it becomes 27 by 64 V. Okay. 27 by 64 V. Okay. You can keep doing this. Again, this is the air that is present. This is the air that is present. I'm going to remove 1/4 of the air, that is 27V by 64. Subtract it, you will get the answer. Now this is the volume that is present in the cylinder, right? Each time this is the volume that is present in the cylinder. Now I have to check whether this data is an AP or not. Okay, these numbers are AP or not. Okay, let me rewrite it. So the sequence will be V 3V by 4, comma 9V by 16, comma 27V by 64, and so on. Okay, so let's check whether we are getting a common difference or not. If we get a common difference, then it's an AP. That's it. So 3V by 4 minus V. 3V by 4 minus V. Okay, I'll just do it directly. You get minus 1 by 4V. Let's do this. 9V by 16 minus 3V by 16. 9V by 16 minus 3V by 16. Sorry, 3V by 4. I'm sorry. You get minus 3 by 4. Sorry, minus 3 by 16 V. The LCM is 16, so I have to multiply by 4. So you get minus 3 by V 16. If you observe, the D value, you're not getting it same, isn't it? So I subtracted these two things, I got so much. But when I subtracted these two things, I got this. Are these two same? No, they are not same. Therefore, this situation is not an AP. Let me summarize it. Very simple. I have to check whether the volume of air in the cylinder each time that I get is an AP or not. Okay. Initially it was V. We remove so much, therefore we add so much. Again, this is the remaining, that will be in the cylinder, isn't it? So I have rewritten it. This is what I have got. I am removing 1/4 of it, subtract it, I have got so much. Continue the same procedure, you got the thing. So check whether this is an AP. No, it's not an AP. Okay. So in the second problem, the given situation is not an AP. Okay, let's solve the third question, students. The cost of digging a well after every meter of digging, when its cost is rupees 150 for the first meter and rises by rupees 50 for each subsequent meter. I have to find whether the cost of digging, that cost, whether it is forming an AP or not. Okay, what is the condition? The cost of digging for the first meter will be rupees 150 and for the subsequent meters it will be 50 rupees more. That is, cost of digging for 1 meter. Cost of digging for 1 meter, it will be rupees 150. Now cost of digging for 2 meters. For 2 meter. For the first meter it will be 150 rupees. Again plus for the next meter it is 50 rupees. So 150 plus 50 is 200. The cost of digging for 3 meters. It will be 150 for the first, again 50, again 50. So it will become 250. Similarly, the cost of digging for 4 meters. It will be equal to rupees. Very clearly 150, 200, 250, 300. Is this forming an AP? Yes. Yes, it is clearly forming an AP. 200 minus 150, 50. 250 minus 200, 50. 300 minus 50, 50. You're getting a common difference. Therefore, this is forming an AP. A very easy one. Okay, students, let's solve the fourth one. That is, let's check whether the fourth situation is an AP or not. So, the amount of money in the account, we have to check the amount that is in the account, whether it is forming an AP or not. Okay, how is this? What is the condition? The amount of money in the account every year when rupees 10,000 is deposited at compound interest at 8% per annum. Okay. So it is deposited at the rate of 8% and it is compound interest. Okay. Now we have got a direct formula. Okay. Usually you guys know how to find interest. PTR by 100. Okay. If you want to find the amount, you will add the principal and the interest. Isn't it? But this principal plus interest, that is the amount, that becomes the new principal for the second year in case of compound interest, isn't it? So you can do it like that, or there is a direct formula, the amount after n years. Okay, that is why we have used n. If it is after 1 year, we are going to use 1. After 2 years, n will be 2. So n is number of years. Okay, P is the principal, R is the rate. Okay, therefore the amount after 1 year, that will be equal to P is 10,000 into 1 plus the rate is 8 by 100. N is 1 after 1 year, so n value is 1. Okay. Similarly, the amount after 2 years, that will be equal to 10,000 into 1 plus 8 by 100. Now after 2 years, right, the value of n is 2. Similarly, the amount after 3 years, 10,000 into 1 plus 8 by 100 whole power 3. Okay. Now these are the amount that is in the bank. Okay. Very clearly it is not an AP. Okay. You can check it. Just subtract this and this. You will get an answer. Similarly, subtract this and this. You will get an answer. Both the answer will definitely be different. Okay. I will give it as a task work for you. You guys try it out. Okay. I have given the 90% of the problem. So you can solve it. Definitely it is not going to form an AP. Subtract it. You will get an answer. You subtract here, here you are going to get an answer. Both the answers will be different. Therefore, this is not forming an AP. This is using the formula which is readily available. If not, how do you calculate amount usually? You would have learned amount is principal plus interest, isn't it? So interest is calculated by the formula PTR by 100. Okay. Now you calculate the interest, add with the principal. Okay. For the first time, let's calculate the interest. P is 10,000. Time is 1. PTR 8 divided by 100. So 0 gets cancelled. 8 into 100 is 800. Okay. So if you add with the principal, 800 plus 10,000, 10,800. That is the amount after 1 year. Okay. Now after 2 years, now again you calculate interest, principal into time into our PTR by 100. But in compound interest, this new amount is going to be the principal. So 10,800 into 1 into 8 divided by 100. 0 gets cancelled. 108 into 8. So 108 into 8. 8 8s are 64. 6 8 1s are 8. So you get 864. Add it with the principal. This is your principal. So it will become 11,000. Let's add it. 10,800 plus 864. So it's gonna be 11,664. That will be the amount. Okay. Let me erase this. So the amount, let me write it here. You would have got, and this is equal to 10,800. This is equal to 11,864. Next, now this is going to be the principal. Again, you calculate the same thing. PTR by 100 interest. Now principal is what? 11,864 into 1 into 8 divided by 100. Solve this, you will get a value. Subtract it, definitely you will not get common difference. Therefore, this situation given is not an AP. Okay. So this is the first main, whether we have to, we have to check the given condition is an AP or not. Okay. Let's get into the next main. So students, in the third main, they have given you the value of A and D. We have to find the next 4 terms. Okay. Now if you know the value of A and D, we can easily find any term. That's what I said in the introduction video, that when you know the value of A and D, you can find any term that you wish. So here they are asking us the first 4 terms. That's it. So in the first question, our A value is 10, D value is also 10. So the terms will be 10. How do we get the second term? You have to just add the fixed term, right? That is the common difference. 10 plus 10, 20, 20 plus 10, 30, 30 plus 10, 40, and so on. Directly we can do it. You just take your A and keep adding the D, you will get the next terms. Or you can also use the formula. The first term we know it is A. The second term is given by the formula A plus D. If you use this formula, AN is equal to A plus N minus 1 into D. The second term, A2 will be A plus N is 2. 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So A plus 1D can be simply written as A plus D. So A is 10, D is 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. The third term will be A plus 2D. So it will become 10. 2 into 10 is 20. 20 plus 10 is 30. You can either use this formula or directly you can write it. If you know the value of A is 10. D is 10. Keep adding. 10 plus 10, 20. 20 plus 10, 30. 30 plus 10, 40. Easily you will get the answers. Okay. Let's go to the next problem. Second one. Here the value of A is minus 2 and the value of D is 0. So A is minus 2. How do you get the second one? Minus 2 plus D. D is 0. So minus 2 plus 0 is minus 2 itself. Again minus 2 plus 0. Minus 2 itself. Minus 2 plus 0. Minus 2 itself. So you got it. Let's go to the third one. What is the value of A? 4. D is minus 3. So A is 4. That is your first term. How do you get the next term? You have to add D to this. 4 plus of minus 3. For this 4, you have to just add your D value. That is minus 3. So simplify it. Plus into minus is minus. 4 minus 3 is 1. So your next term is 1. Again, for this term, if you add your d value, you will get the next term. So 1 plus into minus is minus 3. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. You got this. Again, for this minus 2, if you add your d value, you will get the next one. So let me add my d value. Minus 2 plus of minus 3. Minus 2 is added with the d value. Minus 2 plus into minus is minus 3. Both the numbers have got same sign. So if I add it, it will become minus 5. That's it. You got your 4 terms. Similarly, you can do it. Okay. Let's go to the fourth question. In the fourth question, a value is minus 1 and d value is half. So a value, first let's write a value. Okay. Now we have to write the second term. How do we get the second term? For this a, we have to simply add our d. Okay. If you take LCM, this 1 can be written as 1 by 1. Okay. Take the LCM. The LCM of 1 and 2 is 2 itself. So this we have to make it as 2. How can I make it? I'll simply multiply by 2 for both numerator and denominator. So 2 ones are 2, 2 ones are 2 plus 1 by 2. Okay. If you simplify, minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. The denominator as it is. So you get the answer as minus half. Okay. So the next one will be minus 1 by 2. How do you get the third one? For this, we have to add our d, that is half. Minus half plus half is 0. Next, for this, again you have to add our d to get next one. 0 plus half is half. To get the next one, again we have to add d. Half plus half is 1. It goes on. You got the fourth question. Very simple. You know the value of d, easily you can find. Okay, let's come to this. A value is minus 125. Let's write it. That's our first term. Let's go to the next one. How do we get the next one? Your a value plus d is minus 0.25. Whatever I am doing this, these should be done in working column, okay, in the exam. So minus 125 plus into minus is minus 0.25. So both have got same sign. So if I add it, minus 125.25. That will be your next one. How do I get the next one? For this, I have to add d value. I have to add d value. Let's find d value. Minus 125.25, sorry, minus 125.25 plus into minus is minus 0.25. Again, both have got same sign. So it will become minus 125.50. Minus 125.50. To get the next one, again we have to add d. If you add it, you get so much. Okay, you can try that. So it's very, very simple. You know the value of a and d. Write your a value. If you want next one, just add d to it. Again, add d to it. You will be getting the next terms. Okay. So this is our second main. In the first exercise. Okay, students. In the third main, they have given us an AP. They have given us the AP. We have to find the value of A and D. That is the third main. Okay. Which is very, very important. Okay. Let's take the first one. What is A, the first term? The number which is in the first position. That is 3. So you got your value of A. That is 3. Now let's calculate D. Usually, to calculate D, we take this formula, A2 minus A1, the second term minus first term. Remember, it is not necessary that this is the formula. A2 minus A1 need not be the formula. You can find D in many ways. Okay, many ways in the sense, take any term. For example, if I take fourth term, subtract it with the preceding term, the previous one. This and this, if you subtract it, even then you will get D. Okay. Most of the time, why do we take this is because, as you can see, there are only 4 terms given. Okay, sometimes you will have only 3 terms given. Therefore, we are restricting ourselves. D is equal to A2 minus A1. It's not necessary that you have to take this. Any term and its preceding term. If you just subtract it, you get D. For example, minus 1 and 1. If you subtract it, you will get D. That is also correct. But usually we take this second term minus first term. What is our second term? 1 minus What is our first term? 3. So 1 minus 3 is minus 2. After subtraction, we have to put the greater number sign. So that's the first question. Let's go for the second one. So A value is 3, D value is negative 2. Let's go to the next one. What is our A? A is minus 5. Very easy. The first term minus 5. Again, how do we calculate D? Second term minus first term. What is our second term? Minus 1. There is a minus. Second term is minus 1 minus. What is our first term? Minus 5. There is already minus. Again, we are going to write a minus. So, within the brackets. Okay. So, minus 1. Minus into minus becomes plus 5. So, 5 minus 1 is 4. So, you have to be very careful. A2 minus A1. A2 is minus 1 minus. What is our A1? Our A1 is, that is the first term is minus 5. Minus 1 minus of minus is plus 5. Minus 1 plus 5. Both the numbers have got different signs. So we have to subtract it. 5 minus 1 is 4. 5 is the greater number. So greater number sign. Okay. Let's go to the third question. Our A is 1 by 3. The first term is 1 by 3. Let's find our D, that is second term minus first term. Second term is 5 by 3 minus first term is 1 by 3. The denominators are same, so we can subtract it. So the denominator as it is, the numerator 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 by 3, that's the value of D. The third problem. Let's go to our fourth problem. In our fourth problem, the value of A is, the first term is 0.6. That is our A value. Now let's find our D value, which is A2 minus A1. That is second term minus first term. Second term is 1.7 minus 0.6. So let's subtract it 1.7, 0.6. 7 minus 6, 1. The decimal as it is, 1 minus 0 is 1. So you get 1.1. So D is equal to 1.1. Okay. So in the third main we were asked to find the value of A and D. We have found it. And one important thing is, it is not necessary that D formula is second term minus first term. You can take any term, just subtract with the preceding term. Okay. Fifth term minus fourth term will give you D. Sixth term minus fifth term will give you D. But sixth term minus fourth term will not give you D. Whichever term you take it, the very previous term you have to subtract it. Okay. So this is our third main. Okay students, in the fourth main, they have given us the sequence. We have to find whether it is an AP or not. If it is AP, we have to find the next 3 or 4 terms. Okay. Initially I have taken 5 problems. Later on we'll do the remaining. Okay. Now the first problem, there is a sequence 2, 4, 8, 16. Let's find it out whether it is an AP or not. So 2, 4, 8, 16 and so on. So 4 minus 2 is how much? 2. But 8 minus 4 is 4. If you observe, 4 minus 2 is 2, but 8 minus 4 is 4. You are not getting a common difference. Therefore, this is not an AP. Okay. Since you have to write since, or as there is no difference, as there is no common difference, as there is no common difference, 2, 4, 8, 16, so on, is not an AP. This is something else. This is called as GP, where you are multiplying it. 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16, geometric progression, which you will be learning in your PUC. If you take science, you will be learning it. Right now, let's not worry about that. So, is this an AP? No, it's not an AP. Okay. If it is AP, we have to find the value of A and D. Then we have to find 3 more terms also. But this is not an AP, so let's not worry about it. So this is not an AP. No, it's not an AP. Let's come to the second one. So here the second one is sequence 2, comma 5 by 2, comma 3, comma 7 by 2. If you observe, you can convert this into decimals, so it will be very easy. Usually keeping in fractions and subtracting it, that is the easiest way, but this problem is a bit easy, so let's do it like that. 2 comma 5 by 2 can be written as 2.5. 3 7 by 2 can be written as 3.5. so if you observe, 2.5 minus 2, 0.5, 3 minus 2.5, again 0.5, 3.5 minus 3, again 0.5. You're getting a common difference, therefore this is an AP. Or suppose you're not converting into, if you're not converting this into decimal, how will you solve it? Simple. 5 by 2 minus 2. Let's subtract these two things. 5 by 2 minus 2. Okay. So this 2 can be written as 2 by 1. Take the LCM. What is the LCM of 2 and 1? It is 2. So here it is 2. This is 1. Whatever LCM you get, the LCM is 2 now. These denominators should become the LCM. So this is already 2, no problem. This 1 has to become 2. How do I do that? Multiply and divide by 2 for both numerator and denominator. Okay. 5 by 2 minus 2 2s are 4, 1 2s are 2. So 5 minus 4 is 1 by 2. Okay. Let's subtract this and this. 3 minus 5 by 2. This 3 can be written as 3 by 1. Doesn't change. Let's take a LCM. The LCM of 1 and 2 is 2. So to make this 2, we have to multiply and divide by 2. 2 3s are 6 by 2 minus 5 by 2, where you get 6 minus 5 is 1 by 2. You got the same answer. Let's check for these two things. 7 by 2 minus 3. 7 by 2 minus 3. This 3 can be written as 3 by 1. Take LCM. You will be getting 7 by 2 minus 6 by 2, which is 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is basically 0.5, right? That is what we got. So when you subtract it, you are getting a common difference. Therefore, this is an AP. If this is an AP, we have to find the value of A. What is the value of A? 2, and the common difference is 1 by 2. Just now we did it, isn't it? 5 by 2 minus 2 is 1 by 2. And we have to find the next 4 terms. They have given you 4 terms. The next 4 terms you have to find it. So for this you have to add D. 7 by 2 plus 1 by 2. So 2 comma 5 by 2 comma 3 comma 7 by 2 comma next term. How do you get the next term? Simply add D to it. 7 by 2 plus 1 by 2. That is 8 by 2, which is 4. After this again you have to add 1 by 2. So 4 plus half. That is 4 plus half is 4 and a half. 4 and a half can be written as 9 by 2. The next one will be 5. Okay. Simple. 2, 5 by 2, 3, 7 by 2. If you observe here, 5, 7, 9. So the next one will be 11. And here 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one will be 6. Or you can do it. Just add D to it. You will get this. Add D to it. What is D? 9 by 2 plus 1 by 2. That is 10 by 2. That will become 5. That's what I have written directly. Okay. So since it is an AP, we found the value of A and D, and we also found the next 4 terms. Okay. Let's go for the next third question. That is minus 1.2. So minus 1.2, minus 3.2, minus 5.2, minus 7.2, and so on. Okay. So let's subtract the second term and the first term. Minus 3.2 minus the second one minus the first one. Okay, so it becomes minus of minus. You have to be very careful. So minus 3.2 minus into minus is plus. It becomes plus 1.2. So if you subtract it, you get minus 2.0. Okay. Let's check with this. Minus 5.2 minus this. Okay. Minus 5.2. Suppose this question comes in exam, you cannot write it like this. Okay, I'm just explaining it. But if you have to write it in the exam, you have to write like this. Second term minus first term. A2 minus A1. A3 minus A2. Let's find A3 minus A2. A3 is minus 5.2 minus. A2 is minus 3.2. So minus 5.2 plus 3.2. You will get minus 2 itself. Next, what will you do? The fourth one minus the third one. So A4 minus A3. Okay. Similarly, if you do it minus 7.2 minus, again you will get a minus. I'll directly write it plus. Minus of minus becomes plus 5.2. Again you are getting minus 2.0. So throughout, whenever you subtract, you are getting the same answer. You are getting a common difference. Therefore, this is an AP. Since this is an AP, the first term. Let's find the first term. A is minus 1.2. B is minus 2. A value is the first one. D value, this is your D value. You are getting a common difference, right? That is your D value. Now you have to find the next terms. It's very easy. Observe. Minus 1.2, minus 3.2, minus 5.2, minus 7.2. The next one obviously will be, observe, 1, 3, 5, 7. Next one will be 9. So minus 9.2, minus 9.2. The next one, minus 11.2, minus 13.2, minus 15.2, and so on. Okay. So this is how you find the next four terms. Okay. You can do it directly. No issues. When you get the pattern, when you get the logic, you can aramse do it. Okay. Let's go to the fourth one. So the fourth one, minus 10, minus 6, minus 2, 2. Minus 10, minus 6, minus 2, 2, so on. So let's subtract it. Second term minus first term. What is second term? Minus 6 minus. What is our first term? Minus 10. So minus 6 minus of minus is plus. So you get 4. Similarly, let's do A3 minus A2. That is minus 2 minus of minus 6. So it becomes minus 2 plus 6, again 4. Similarly, you do it A4 minus A3. 2 minus of minus 2. So it will become 2 plus 2, again it is 4. So you are getting a common difference. Therefore, this is an AP. If this is an AP, find the value of A, which is minus 10, and the value of B is 4. The next four terms, how do you find the next four terms? Simply you have to add D to it. So the term here is 2, add D to it. 2 plus 4 is 6. So minus 10, minus 6, minus 2, 2. Add D to it. 2 plus 4, 6. 6 plus 4, 10. 10 plus 4, 14. 14 plus 4, 18. So the next four terms. Okay. Simply you have to just add D to it. So let's get to the fifth one. Okay. Before getting into fifth one, an important thing, whenever we are not able to find a root of any number, square root of a number or cube root of number, those numbers, cube root of that number or square root of that number is said to be an irrational. For example, let's say root 25. Can I find square root of 25? Yes, it is 5. Usually we write it as 5. Actually, this is plus or minus 5. Okay. Most of the time we just write it as plus 5. Now basically, what is the meaning of root 25? Square root of 25 is 5. Why? Because which number you multiply by itself will give you 25? It is 5. Isn't it? 5 5s are 25. That is why square root of 25 is 5. Basically, square root of 25 means which number, if you multiply it by itself, will you get 25. So the number is 5. We write square root of 25 as 5 because if you multiply 5 by itself, you get 25. Similarly, square root of 36, we write it as 6. Again, actually it should be plus or minus 6 because 5 into 5 is also 25. Minus 5 into minus 5 is also 25. Minus into minus plus, 5 5s are 25. Okay. But most of the time, depending on the situation, we don't write minus. Okay. For time being, let's not consider this minus. Let's focus on the positive itself. So square root of 25 is 5 because 5 multiplied by itself gives you 25. Square root of 36 is 6 because 6 into 6 gives you 36. Square root of 49 is 7. You can find it. But if I ask you what the square root of, let's say 2, you cannot say, sir, 2 into 1 is 2. Yes, 2 into 1 is 2. But are these two same? When finding square root, you should have a number multiplied by itself should give you 2. Is there any number which multiplied by itself gives you 2? 2 ones is 2, but these two are not same, right? There is no number. If you multiply, you won't get any number. There is no number such that multiplied by itself gives you 2. So you cannot find square root of 2. Similarly, you cannot find square root of 3. Similarly, you cannot find square root of 5, square root of 7, square root of 10. You cannot find such things. So these are called as irrational numbers. Similarly, cube root. I can find cube root of 8. Cube root of 8 is 2. Why? Now it is cube root, right? Now this which is inside the hook. It is like a hook, right? Inside the hook, that is called as order. This thing is called as radicand. So here the order is 3. Okay. If there is nothing inside the hook, it is considered to be 2. Okay. If there is nothing inside, we consider it as 2. Since the order is 3, cube root of 8 is 2, because here which number multiplied by itself 3 times gives you 8. It is 2. 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8. Therefore, cube root of 8 is 2. If I ask you cube root of 27, we will write it as 3. Because 3 multiplied by itself 3 times. 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. Therefore, cube root of 27 is 3. Okay. You can find it. But if I ask you cube root of 16, which number multiplied by itself 3 times gives you 16? There is no number as such. Therefore, you cannot find cube root of 16. So, this is also an irrational number. Okay. Now, for irrational number, there is a rule for addition and subtraction. Okay. It is like, for example, if I ask you, what is 5 cats plus 10 chocolates? Come on, how can you add cats and chocolates? Cats is a different thing, chocolates is a different thing, right? So, what I am trying to say is you can add only same categories. Chocolates with chocolates, cats with cats. Similarly, for rational numbers, you can add only the like rational numbers. Okay, there is nothing as such like rational numbers. The other name for this root 2, root 3 is surds, S-U-R-D-S, surds. So we can add and subtract only like surds. Okay. For example, if you got root 2, let's say you got 3 root 2 and 5 root 3. Can I add it? No, because here you got root 2 and here you got root 3. For addition, there is a rule. The rule is order and radicand should be same. I'll make it simple. If you got root 2, you can add it only with root 2. You cannot add it with root 3. Suppose if it was root 2, yes. Will you write this as 3 root 2 plus 5 root 2 as 8 root 4? No. We write this as 3 root 2 plus 5 root 2 is 8 root 2. It's like 3x plus 5x. How do you write it? 3x plus 5x. You keep this x as it is. You just add the coefficients, right? Coefficients means what is multiplied with this x? 3. What is multiplied with this x? 5. So 3x plus 5x is 8x, isn't it? The same logic. 3 root 2 plus 5 root 2 is 8 root 2. But if you have got root 3 here, we can't add it. Similarly for subtraction. But for multiplication, you can multiply. That is, if you have got root 2 into root 3, yes, you can multiply. Root 2 into root 3 is root 6. But root 2 plus root 3, no, you can't. You can't add it. Okay. Now, but one more thing, if you have got root 2 into cube root of 2, you can't multiply because this is square root of 2, this is cube root of 2. Okay. Square root with square root itself, cube root with cube root itself in multiplication. Okay. In addition, if you have got root 2, you should have root 2 itself. Okay. So that is the condition. So if you know this, which you would have learnt in your previous year, previous academic year. If not, this is a very important one for the next problem. So 3 plus root 2, 3 plus 2 root 2, 3 plus 3 root 2. And one more important thing. Just observe 3 plus 2 root 2. Can I write this as 3 plus 2, 5 root 2? No, that is not possible. Why? Because this 3 is a rational number, but 2 root 2 is an irrational number. How come? Root 2 is irrational. Since it is, this 2 is with this irrational, this will also become irrational. Okay, something which is with irrational becomes irrational. Like kind of a person being with a bad person becomes a bad person, kind of that. So this 2 is with irrational, so this becomes irrational. I cannot add this 3 and this 2 because this is rational. This entire thing is irrational. I cannot add it. So that is why they have kept it as it is. Okay. Now a2 minus a1. That is 3 plus root 2 is our a2 minus a1 is 3. Let's remove the bracket. 3 plus root 2 minus 3. This is 3 is also rational. Minus 3 is also rational. So I can cancel it. I'll be left with root 2. Let's go with the next one. Third term minus second term. The third term is 3 plus 2 root 2 minus. Okay. Whenever there are two terms, you just put a bracket. Okay. There are two terms here. So I put a bracket minus. Again, second term, there are two things. So put a bracket. If you don't put a bracket, then this minus belongs only to this 3, which is completely different. This minus belongs to the both. So we have to put brackets. So 3 plus 2 root 2 minus into 3 minus 3 minus into root 2 becomes minus root 2. Plus 3 minus 3 gets cancelled. You are left with 2 root 2 minus root 2. Minus root 2 can also be written as 1 root 2. If there is no coefficient, you can take it as 1. So 2 root 2 minus 1 root 2 becomes root 2. Similarly, you can do for the next one. A4 minus A3. That is 3 plus 3 root 2 minus 3 plus 2 root 2. Remove the brackets now. 3 plus 3 root 2 minus into 3 is minus 3. Minus into plus minus into 3 is minus 3. Minus into plus minus 2 root 2 as it is. Plus 3 minus 3 gets cancelled. 3 root 2 minus 2 root 2 is 1 root 2. Or simply you can write it as root 2. So everywhere you got the answer as same. Therefore this is an AP. If this is an AP, this is your first term and this is your common difference. Now how do you find the next 4 terms? Very simple. Just observe. 3 plus root 2, 3 plus 2 root 2, 3 plus 3 root 2. The next one will be 3 plus 4 root 2. You have to add d to it, right? What is d? D is root 2. If you add root 2 for this, 3 root 2 plus root 2 will become 4 root 2. So 3 plus 4 root 2, 3 plus 5 root 2, 3 plus 6 root 2 and so on. Okay. So we have solved the first 5 problems. So let's go with the next problems. Students, I have taken the next 5 problems. So let's go the 6th one. So 0.2, 0.22, 0.222, 0.222. Okay, let's take it. First, the second term minus first term. A2 minus A1. This is for 6th question. So A2 is 0.22 minus 0.2. So let's just subtract it. 0.22 minus 0.2. You can write it as 20. So subtract it. 2 minus 0 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Decimal as it is 0.02. So you get the answer is 0.02. Now let's do the third term minus second term. Okay, the third term is 0.22 to 0.22. Let's subtract it. 0.222, 0.22. So you can take a 0 here. 2 minus 0 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. 0.002. So you got the answer as 0.002. Here itself you can stop. You need not find the next one because here you got the answer as 0.02. But here you are getting the answer as 0.002. Here itself we can stop because you are not getting the same answer, right? If you are not getting the same answer, this is not an AP. Since there is no common difference, this is not an AP. Okay, let's come to the next one. I'll just do it. Minus 4 minus 0. Minus 4 minus 0. You will get minus 4. Minus 8. Minus 8. Minus of minus 4. Second term is this. Minus. Third term is this. So minus 8 minus into minus is plus 4. So you get minus 8 plus 4 is minus 4 itself. So if you keep subtracting, you get the same answer. Therefore, this is an AP. So these are very easy. I've done n number of problems now. You can do it. You can find the next few terms by yourself. This is also an AP very clearly because you got same numbers. Minus of If you subtract these two, if you subtract two same numbers, the answer will be 0, right? This minus half, minus half. If you subtract these two things, let me do it here. Let me subtract it and show it to you. Second term is minus 1 by 2 minus the first term is minus 1 by 2. So minus into minus becomes plus. Minus half plus half is 0. Same thing, you will get this and this. If you subtract, you get 0. Again 0. You're getting a common answer throughout. Therefore, it is an AP. What will be the next four terms? Just observe. Everywhere it is minus half. You have to just add 0 to it. If you add 0, you will get the same thing. So you can complete it. Again, this one. Ninth one, is it an AP? 3 minus 1 is 2. But 9 minus 3 is 6. Therefore, you are getting different answer. Therefore, this is not an AP. This is not an AP. Okay. You need not check the other thing at all. Here, you are not getting same answer. Therefore, this is not an AP. Here, 2a minus a. This a can also be written as 1a. No problem. 2a minus 1a is 1a. 3a minus 2a is 1a. 4a minus 3a is also 1a. You are getting a common answer. Common difference. Therefore, this is an AP. What will be the next four terms? 1a, 2a, 3a, 4a, 5a, 6a, 7a, 8a. Finish. So it's very easy now. You have to just subtract it and check it whether it is an AP or not. So let's solve the next remaining 5 problems. Okay, let's solve the next 5 problems. So very clearly, a square minus a, you cannot subtract it. When you have got different power, different exponent, you cannot subtract it. A square minus a, we don't know what it is. Definitely a cube minus a square is not equal to a square minus a. If you subtract a square minus a, basically you cannot subtract this. Definitely this is not equal to a cube minus a square. Okay, it is not equal. Therefore, this is not an AP. Now let's come to the next one. A very interesting one. Root 2, root 8, root 18, root 32, so on. Okay. Now I told you, if you want to add or subtract, root 2 can be added or subtract with root 2 itself. Root 2 plus 3 root 2. Yes, I can do it. 5 root 2 plus 6 root 2. We can do it. But 5 root 2 plus 6 root 3 is not possible. Or 5 root 2 minus 3 root 2 is possible. But 3 root 3 is not possible. So here, a2 minus a1. Root 18 minus root 2. Here you got root 18. Here you got square root of 2. There are two different things. How can I subtract it? No, I cannot subtract it. But if you reduce it to simplest form, okay, there is a perfect square inside it. Okay, if you remove it outside, then you can subtract it. How to do that? Using prime factorization. What is prime factorization? Let's take this number and write it as product of primes. I'm going to take this number. I'm going to write it as product of primes. That is, I can write this as 2 into 3 into 3. Product means multiplication, right? And you got only prime numbers here. This is known as prime factorization. Okay. But how did I get this? Very simple. You've already done this in your 8th standard. Finding square roots and cube roots by prime factorization method. You take like this. So it's divisible by 2. 2 9s are 18. 3 3s are 9. 3 1s are 3. That's how you do it, right? Now, after prime factorization, start making pair. This is a pair. Circle it. There is only 1, 2. There is no another 2 to make a pair. Okay, forget it. Out of this pair, you take one number and write it outside. This number doesn't have any pair, so you write it inside. So, root 18 is also equal to 3 root 2. Now, 3 root 2 minus root 2. 3 root 2 minus root 2. Yes, I can do it. This is also root 2, root 2. I can do it. 3 root 2 minus root 2 is 2 root 2. Okay. Similarly, let's check the next one. Third term minus second term. Third term minus second term. What is our third term? Okay, I made a small mistake. I should have taken this as 8. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's prime factorize it. 8. 2 2s are 2 4s are 8. 2 2s are 4. 2 1s are 2. Let's prime factorize it. Again, let's make a pair. So this is the pair. Out of this pair, take one number, write it outside. This doesn't have any pair, so write it inside the root. 2 root 2 minus root 2, 1 root 2. Similarly, let's do it for the next one. A3 is root 18 minus root 8. So root 18, just now we did it. Prime factorize, you get 3 root 2 minus this becomes root 8 is 2 root 2. 3 root 2 minus 2 root 2 is again 1 root 2. Similarly, let's do it for next one. The fourth term minus third term. A4 minus A3. That is root 32 minus root 18. 32, let's prime factorize it. Okay. If you prime factorize it, let me do it here. Okay, I'm sorry. It was 73, I guess. Let me do it here. 32 to 16s are, to 8s are, to 4s are, to 2s are, to 1s are. To 16s are, to 8s are, to 4s are, to 2s are, to 1s are. So this is a pair, this is a pair, this is without pair. So from this pair I'll take one number, I'll write it outside. Again there is another pair, right? From this pair I took one number. From this pair let me take one more number and multiply it with this. This is without pair, so let me write it outside. So what is 2 2s are? 4. So 4 root 2. So from this pair one number, from this pair one number, multiply it. 2 2s are 4. 4 root 2 minus root 18, we have already done it. It is 3 root 2. 4 root 2 minus 3 root 2 is 1 root 2. So you're getting a same answer. Throughout you're getting same answer. Therefore this is an AP. Okay. You can find the next answers. Next term. How do you find next term? This is root 2. This root 8 can be written as 2 root 2. This is 3 root 2. This is 4 root 2. So the next one will be 5 root 2, 6 root 2, 7 root 2 and so on. This is how you do it. So whenever it is an irrational number, there might be some perfect square inside it. For example, here this 8 can be written as 4 into 2. So 4 is a perfect square because I can find square root of it, isn't it? So that is why you have to reduce it to simplest form. Okay. Now let's come to this root 3, root 6, root 9, root 12. Now similarly, root 6 minus root 3. No, you cannot subtract it because this is root 6 and this is root 3. Okay. Let's try to reduce it simplest form. This is already in the simplest form. If you prime factorize it, 6, 2 3s are, 3 1s are. There is no pair at all. Is there a pair for this? There is no pair at all. So both will be inside the root itself. If it is inside the root, you get back root 6 itself. Root 6 minus root 3. You can't do it at all. When you can't subtract it, you cannot find the common difference. So there is no common difference. This is not an AP. Let's find this. 1 square is 1. 3 square is 9. 5 square is 25. 7 square is 49. Let's subtract it. 9 minus 1, 8. 25 minus 9, 16. Again, this is not an AP. You are getting a different answer. It's not an AP. Similarly, you can check with this. Definitely, it's not an AP. And one more important thing. Please do not do this mistake. Do not subtract these bases first. 3 minus 1, 2. So square is there. So 2 square. 5 minus 3, 2. 2 square. 7 minus 5, 2 square. Don't think you're getting same answer. That is wrong. Why? You should always solve for the powers first. You have to remove these powers. 1 square is 1. 3 square 9. 5 square 25. 7 square 49. You have to do that. Then you have to subtract. Definitely you won't get the same answer. Therefore this is not an AP. Similarly you can try out the next one. So we have completed with the first exercise. Basically in the first exercise, what are the types of problems that we did? Situational problems where the given situation is AP or not. Then we got to know how to find A and D. Then if you know A and D, we can find the terms, whichever terms we require. Okay. So next, let's continue with the second exercise in the next video. Thank you, students.